presentations.
Number 11, Hidayat Arif. Number 13, Hidayat Kalab Raymond. Number 16, Nugroho Verma Green. Number 18, Andrew Abraham Lewis. Number 31, Edward Shan. Number 33, William Sprague Michael. Number 45, Jensen George Hay. Huấn luyện viên trưởng head coach of CLS Knights Indonesia, Mr. Dukung Nugroho. Và bây giờ hãy cùng chào đón lên sân thi đấu đội chủ nhà, our home boy, Saigon. Number 17, Nguyễn Huỳnh Hải. Number 5, Ngô Quang Trung. Number 0, Nguyễn Maurice Sultan. Number 1, Nguyễn Quốc Tú Stefan. Number 14, Lê Ngọc Vũ. Number 9, Amin Scott. Number 7, Moses Mondo. Number 13, Michael Williams. Number 32, Macieso. Number 6, Good Arnold. Huấn luyện viên trưởng head coach of Saigon Mr. Carol Julius. Trợ huấn luyện viên assistant coach của Saigon Mr. David Singleton. Xin được trân trọng giới thiệu giám sát viên và đội trọng tài của trận đấu hôm nay. Commissioner referees for this game are Mr. Lê Việt Đức, Mr. Leon John Wing, Mr. John Taban Natnamo, Mrs. Wong Shin Wing. Và bây giờ xin mời tất cả mọi người cùng đứng lên để làm lễ chào cờ. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem. Vâng, quốc ca.
Và xin mời hai đội chúng ta bắt tay nhau. Two teams, please shake hands. Kính thưa quý vị, ngày hôm nay là trận đấu đầu tiên của năm
And we're back inside the CIS arena for this live and exclusive coverage of your ASEAN Basketball League season number 8, 2017-2018 season. Again, this is the game between the Saigon Heat and the CLS Knights Indonesia. Saigon Heat 7-8 in the season. CLS at 3-12. And Moses Morgan, again, like we mentioned earlier, he will be coming back to the lineup after sustaining a hyperextended knee that sidelined him for the past two games against the Singapore Singers and against the CLS Knights. How big is this for Saigon, Marco?
Well, he's such a big part of this squad here for Coach Kyle Julius. Not only is he averaging about 18 points per game, also contributing 8 rebounds per ball game. And you talk about the worst rebounding team in the ABL, they're averaging about 39 rebounds per game. If you lose the 8 rebounds of Moses Morgan, they're down to about 31 rebounds. Really outmatched against the bigger teams here. And one of those teams is the CLS Knights, who has one of the best rebounding big men in Brian Williams. As you see the starting five here for the CLS Knights. Sandy Kurniawan, very interesting, has been having a slump of a season. He's been known as one of the best shooters here for the CLS Knights, but really has not gotten it going here, especially in the latter part of the season. Is only averaging about 6.5 points per game, although shooting at about 40% from downtown.
Moses Morgan has upped his average to 18 points per game this season. Last year, he averaged about 14 points per game. His shooting averages are also up this season. So this is definitely a welcome development for Coach Cal Julius this afternoon. And he is back to his old starting five. And Marco, before we begin this matchup between Saigon and CLS, what are the keys to the game for both teams?
Well, first of all, for the visiting team, for the CLS Knights, they have to dominate inside. They have the bigger front line. Brian Williams is really known to pound it inside the paint. He and Shane Edwards really have to flex their muscles, so to speak, against Maxi Esho and Moses Morgan. They outscored the Saigon Heat 50-44 in inside points in their previous meeting. Number two is they have to dominate the glass, prevent the Saigon Heat from getting out on the break, because the Saigon Heat will love to run.
Yep.
And they cannot run if they cannot get the rebounds. And finally, they have to minimize their turnovers. For the home team, meanwhile, for the Saigon Heat, they have to dictate the tempo. They do that by forcing turnovers. They're number two team in terms of forcing turnovers at about 16.4 per game. Outside shooting is also going to be key for them, because they're the number one team in terms of 3 points made, averaging about 11 3-pointers per ball game as well. And of course, they have to dictate the tempo.
Right on cue, Marco. Speaking of 3-pointers for Saigon, they nailed their first one this afternoon. That is courtesy of Michael Williams.
Averaging about 37% from long distance. And I think Michael Williams has to be more consistent, especially as he approached the playoffs here in the ABL.
And crucial stages here in the ASEAN Basketball League. Again, these two teams met a couple of games ago. Saigon emerging victorious, and they forced the shot clock violation there. For CLS, Marco, they gotta overcome the slow start.
Yeah.
The first quarter pretty much dictated the game. Against the Saigon Heat a couple of games back, they were outscored 23-9 in that first quarter.
And, not the start that you wanted here if you're Coach Coco Nugroho. Miscommunication on offense as Brian Williams was caught out on an island there outside the three-point line, nowhere to go. Ended up in a turnover, 24-second shot clock violation.
In the meantime, Maxi Esho misses from the outside. 1 out of 2 now for the Saigon Heat. CLS with a chance to counter here. Shane Edwards scored 23 points in their last game. Misses his first shot of the afternoon. Brian Williams, though, with a putback.
And this is going to have to be their bread and butter as long as Shane Edwards and the rest of the perimeter players can take it strong to the basket and draw the defense. Brian Williams can really clean up the glass.
That's a way for you to start your bounce back game if you're Brian Williams. But Mikey Williams, on the other hand, drawing the foul inside.
Using his quickness and his strength against the ABL legend Mario Wusan.
Mikey Williams has had an up and down season for the Saigon Heat. I remember him scoring 38 points in their win against Hong Kong. That was their first win in a Southorn Stadium, and then, getting into a slump after that.
And Martin, it's no surprise that whenever Mikey Williams plays well, bodes well for the Saigon Heat. In their 2 wins against the Hong Kong Eastern basketball squad, Michael Williams played excellent basketball, and it was no surprise that they were able to defeat the Hong Kong Eastern.
5-2 now. Williams able to convert his free throws. A foul, this time forced by Mario Wuisang. And it's going to be against the Saigon Heat.
That's going to be on Moses Morgan. Poor defense there on the part of Moses Morgan. Actually was able to keep in step with Mario Wuisang. Just could not avoid the temptation of taking a swipe at that basketball. That's why he was called for the foul. If he had just raised his hands, probably would have been difficult for Wuisang to get a good shot.
Kurnawan fires away from the right wing. Short, Brian Williams. Offensive rebound. Put back is no good. Third serving here. Brian Williams puts it in.
And you see how Brian Williams can be that dominant inside the paint. 2 offensive rebounds on 1 sequence.
4 points now for Brian Williams. Both baskets coming from him. David Arnold fires from the right side. Does not connect.
Notice the defense of the CLS Knights. Very wary of that penetration by Williams or Scott. Giving up that outside shot to David Arnold.
Shane Edwards puts it on the floor. Nothing there. Williams again, just dominating the glass right now and gets the putback to go.
And another offensive rebound and putback by Brian Williams. Really dominating inside the paint right now.
This is how Saigon lost that game big against the Singapore Slingers, giving up 20 offensive rebounds in their previous contest. Brian Williams completes the three-point play. So CLS now on top by 2.
And this is going to be one of the things that we're going to be looking at all game long. Those offensive rebounds, second chance points, and points inside the paint.
Scott off the glass. Purnyawan with the rebound. 3-on-1 break. Wuisang pull up for 3 is good.
And you got to understand the amount of confidence you have in your ability when you pull up for a 3 in transition. Mario Wuisang knows what he can do and has the license to shoot it.
Mario Wuisang has picked it up this season after a slow start, averaging 12 points per game. That's a way for you to come back and announce your entry. Moses Morgan with a 3-pointer.
And that's what they missed the past couple of games, and that's going to force Shane Edwards and the defense of the CLS Knights to be honest.
Now, Saigon on the move. Esho goes baseline. The reverse does not go. Williams with the board. And it pushes it down for CLS. Bounce pass to Shane Edwards, who throws it down.
And that was a nice recovery there from Shane Edwards. Nice bounce pass coming from Brian Williams, showing us his ability to lead the break.
Shane Edwards has been the steady force for CLS. He's in the latter part of the season. Maxi Esho, though, his first points off the game.
And that is one thing that Maxi Esho can take advantage of, his foot speed against Brian Williams. We saw him do that against the bigger guys of Chongson Kung Fu, against the Justin Howards and even the Kalen Chongson. So he has that versatility, and that might be a problem for Brian Williams.
Maxi Esho had a difficult time, though, against Chris Charles at the OCBC Arena, shooting 8 out of 24 from the field.
And that is because of the length of Chris Charles.
Yes.
Not only is Charles long, also has versatile or good foot speed, are able to keep in step with Maxi Esho.
Meantime, here is Hidayat at point guard now. Wuisang fires away too strong. He has missed his last 2 attempts from the 3-point area. Hidayat with the offensive board. Sandy Purnyawan fires away.
And the one time that Brian Williams was the one that gave the handoff outside the 3-point line, there was no offensive rebound for CLS.
And here's that drop-off. Great setup job by Moses Morgan. Maxi Esho finishing inside.
And Brian Williams admits to Shane Edwards that he was late getting back in transition. That's why it was a 2-on-1 between Moses Morgan and Maxi Esho against the lone Shane Edwards.
First personal foul on Shane Edwards and Maxi Esho, replacing Travell Jones early in the season, averaging 25 points a game, and they get the steal here. Esho on the move. Esho ahead of the back. What a jam from Maxi Esho!
That's like a slam dunk contest jam.
Timeout here for the CLS Knights. Saigon up by 3. Going back to our coverage, here's Saigon Heat have the momentum right now. And last play was Maxi Esho.
What a highlight dunk there by Maxi Esho in transition. And you know, those count as points off turnovers. The reason why the Saigon Heat have gotten the momentum was because of the turnovers of the CLS Knights. 3 turnovers for them already, resulting in 6 points, or 5 points rather, off turnovers for the Heat.
Saigon taking care of the ball very well so far. Have not turned the ball over. Foul away from the basketball. Holding foul against.
It looks like it's going to go against Stefan Nguyen. It's going to be his first personal, matched up against Shane Edwards on that sequence because of the switch.
Quick sub by Coach Kyle Julius, replacing Viet Arnold right away. Brian Williams backing down against Maxi Esho now. Williams on the fadeaway. Difficult shot, yes, Marco.
Great defense there by Maxi Esho, really pushing Brian Williams outside of his comfort zone. And every time you get Brian Williams to shoot a fadeaway, that prevents him from crashing the boards for an offensive rebound.
A one-and-done possession for the CLS Knights. Morgan too strong on the 3. Edwards on the move. Shane Edwards kicks it out. Mario Wuisang has gone cold from 3-point range.
And another one-and-done possession there for the CLS Knights.
Maxi Esho now sends it out to Mikey Williams. Nothing there as well. Last touch. Oh, they say it's last touch by the Saigon Heat, but they reversed the call here. So it's going to be Saigon Heat possession.
Well, the CLS Knights really leaving that corner wide open, as the Saigon Heat now shooting 2 out of 6 from long distance.
Both teams starting off cold from 3-point range. CLS Knights now 1 out of 5. Mikey Williams against B-Boy Engyo, who just entered the game. Williams with contact gets the hoop.
That's a great move there on the part of Mikey Williams. Nice crossover and ability to balance himself up in the air.
Mikey Williams has 7 points to start this game.
There's going to be a delay of game warning there, as Team Scott caught the ball after the ball went inside the hoop.
3 and 10 seconds to go here in the first. Foul.
Both coaches going to their bench as Coach Coconagro has fielded in B-Boy Engyo and Caleb Gemilang. And Freddy Lish getting ready to check into the game as well for Arif Hidayat. So a new backcourt here for the Knights.
Coach Kyle Julius is also going to be sending in Viet Arnold. Stefan Nguyen getting his second personal foul there. B-Boy Engyo to Williams. Fakes the pass. Brian Williams gets inside. Oh, Camila loses the basketball. Butterfingers there. Scott on the move. Scott all the way.
And how strong does Akeem Scott take it to the basket? That time, Shane Edwards made the business decision not to challenge.
Yep. But Brian Williams continues to be a bully inside.
Another offensive rebound for Brian Williams. That is offensive rebound number 5. And another putback for him. 9 points already here. 9 of the 14 points for Brian Williams.
Give him 9 points and 7 rebounds, all in the first quarter here. But a rare air ball attempt at the free throw line.
And he gets it from the Saigon crowd, as he has been the main antagonist here in the first quarter.
You can't do it here in CIS Arena.
One of the most passionate fans.
Yep, a lot of passionate fans here. Viet Arnold. Mikey Williams now. Oh, behind the back dribble. Close by Engyo, but turns the ball over. Williams lobs it up to Edwards, who finishes at the rim.
And that was nice help defense there coming from Shane Edwards, forcing that deflection. And again, the Brian Williams-Shane Edwards connection resulting in 2 points.
19-16 now. Mikey Williams This time it's Williams and Esho with a two-man game.
Clean block
Great
there from
defensive
Shane Edwards.
sequence, yes. "13 seconds to shoot for the Saigon Heat. They hold the three-point lead. Oh, but a grand inbound play there by Viet Arnold and Moses Morgan. Morgan gets fouled and heads to the line for 2 shots.
And that caught the defense there. A step late. B-Boy Engia tried to go for the challenge, but got Moses Morgan on the body.
Moses Morgan scored a three-pointer earlier. Has missed the last 2 games again with that knee injury. And they sorely miss his services against Singapore Slingers. They lost that game by 18 points in a crucial contest as well. Morgan, 1 out of 2, or 0 out of 2 in that trip. Freddy Leash now surveying the floor, calling the shots. Leash drives, Leash puts it up and in.
That was a difficult shot there by Freddy Leash. Thought he was a little bit out of control, but able to recover. And he has the quickness advantage there against Moses Morgan.
Freddy Leash also bounced back against Mono Vampire after going scoreless against the Saigon Heat as Mikey Williams misses the shot. Freddy Leash now again on the attack. Leash pulls up from 3 and it's good. Straight away 3-pointer for Freddy Leash.
Starting to feel it right now for Freddy Leash. 5 straight points.
Morgan with an answer on the other side.
And Moses Morgan and the Saigon Heat will gladly engage you in a shootout. The number 3 team in terms of scoring at 97 points per game.
Back and forth action here. Oh, Esho getting the steal. Esho in a breakaway jam.
Another turnover by the CLS Knights resulting in 2 points.
But again, an up-tempo game being played here in the first quarter as Bibuyengo scores for the CLS Knights. Williams, Morgan fires, Morgan hits!
This is a tempo that the Saigon Heat love to play at. Miss or make, they're going to push the ball, prevent the defense to set up. Like that time, nobody there guarding Moses Morgan.
Half-minute remaining, and this is Saigon Heat's game, Marco. This up-tempo style of basketball.
That's correct. CLS Knights not really used to this type of pace, and you know, if you keep going at this pace, this is going to negate your advantage of having Brian Williams inside, as he's going to have to run up and down the floor, and then you're not going to have the chance to really be deliberate and post him up inside.
Gemilang goes to the line for 2 shots. It's 27-24 now in favor of the Saigon Heat.
And Brian Williams will be subbed out here by Termano Groho.
2 out of 2 for Gemilang.
Well-deserved rest here for Brian Williams as he stepped out with 9 points and 9 rebounds already.
20 seconds remaining in our opening period. Has been an exciting game so far.
No defense for the Knights.
Esho fakes the 3. Kicks it out. Williams with 8 seconds to work with. They swing the ball around. Hakeem Scott now puts it on the floor. Scott spins. Out of control. Scott forces one up. Doesn't make the shot. And that's how we will end the first quarter of play here in CIS Arena, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. The Saigon Heat with a 2-point lead after the first, 27-25 over the CLS Knights here at CN Basketball League. We'll be right back. Second quarter action coming up next. All right, entering the second quarter of this game, we are back inside. The CIS Arena, Saigon Heat, and the CLS Knights in a dogfight right now. Saigon leading by 2 points, 27-25 after the first quarter. Marco, it has been an up-tempo game from the very start, and Saigon Heat only, getting a slight edge as CLS able to hold the fort down in the first quarter.
Well, Saigon Heat so far might be a little bit happy with the way they've been playing the first quarter as they've dictated the tempo. They've forced the CLS Knights to 5 turnovers, scored 9 buckets off of those turnovers. But for the CLS Knights, they've been able to get their points inside the paint. It's a 16-12 advantage inside the paint, and a lot of those courtesy of Brian Williams. 9 points already on his 9 rebounds, and 5 of those on the offensive end.
The CLS Knights also have the 16-5 rebounding advantage, and the facial there served up by Shane Edwards.
And you're watching two of the highest leaping power forwards here in the ABL.
Scott now. Team Scott struggled in the first, but only took 2 shots for Saigon Heat, which is unusual for Akeem Scott. He fires from 3, does not connect. Here comes CLS.
2-3 zone of the Knights, forcing Saigon Heat to shoot from the outside.
B-Boy Engyo drops it off. Nugroho. Mid-range J, that drops in.
That's a big bonus there for Coach Coco Nugroho. Quick timeout here for Coach Kyle Julius.
4-0 start here in the second quarter for the CLS Knights. Our ABL will be right back after this. Going back to our game here, Moses Morgan, 9 points in the first quarter for the Saigon Heat. The CLS, they got two quick baskets off the quarter break that prompted a timeout for Coach Cal Julius. They lead it by 2, 29-27.
So far, CLS sticking to that 2-3 zone. Saigon Heat shooting 40% from long distance, 4 out of 10. Another nice stop here for the Knights.
Almost a travel there for Maxi Esho, but nonetheless, they turn the ball over. Only the second turnover for the Saigon Heat. 5 on the floor for Saigon. It's pretty much the starting 5 for Coach Cal Julius. On the other side, Coach Coco Nugroho going with Freddy Leash, B-Boy Engyo, Nugroho, Gamilang, and Shane Edwards. Oh, the lob. B-Boy Engyo throws it down.
Wow, I did not expect that baseline screen for the lob to B-Boy Engyo.
B-Boy Engyo showing us that he's got the springs as well. Moses Morgan, though, firing right back with a three-pointer.
That's a bigger answer there for Moses Morgan right now. 4 out of 5 from long distance.
Leash, mid-range J, in and out. Viet Arnold now on the move.
And you wonder how long Coach Coco Nugroho will keep Brian Williams on the bench.
Oh, nice play there. Nice lob. Moses Morgan again inside to Maxi Esho.
And because of Moses Morgan's outside shooting defense, forced to come out, 2 dribbles and will be a pull-up, but he finds a higher percentage shot in Maxi Esho.
Just like that, Saigon Heat up by 1 point again. Edwards on the turnaround. Short, difficult shot. Well defended by Maxi Esho. Maxi on the move. Oh, fakes the pass. Maxi Esho
showing us the sidestep and the length. That is a nice battle here between Maxi Esho and Shane Edwards.
Maxi Esho, what a move there. They take the 3-point lead. Gamila on the switch. Goes to Edwards. He has the mismatch against Viet Arnold. He gets the double team now. Great defense by the Saigon Heat. Freddy Leash. That's a shot clock violation on the CLS Knights.
That's an excellent double team there, forcing the shot clock violation. And you see Shane Edwards telling his teammates, you gotta come to the ball once he's double teamed.
I was about to mention, Marco, Keith Jensen hasn't seen action in this game. He just entered the floor for the CLS Knights. The 3-and-D guy, the late pickup for the CLS Knights, has been efficient for them so far.
This is an interesting lineup here by Coach Coco Nugroho. No world import on the floor.
Yeah.
Keith Jensen, the heritage import, together with 4 locals, as Engyo is considered a local as well.
Nugroho down the lane. And that is the 3rd personal foul on Stefan Nguyen.
CLS Knights showing the Saigon Heat that they too can push the pace and get out in transition.
This all-local lineup is a quicker lineup for the CLS Knights as Nugroho gets fouled there by Stefan.
And this might be the first time I've seen this lineup here for Coach Coco Nugroho. Normally, there's always either a Shane Edwards or a Brian Williams on the floor.
Experimenting here in the first half. And they're only down by 2 points though. Nugroho 2 out of 2. So it's down to 1. Morgan on the drive. Morgan loses the ball, but last touch against the CLS Knights with 7 seconds or 17 seconds to shoot.
So far, the 2-3 zone has been steady for them.
Arnold with a risky pass to Scott. Morgan from straight away. Too strong. Esho with the offensive rebound. A rare one for the Saigon Heat. He shoots from the free throw line and knocks it down.
Maxi Esho has been on fire here in the first half. 15 points already. That is what you give up with a smaller lineup.
Yep. 2 players in double figures right now for the Saigon Heat. Esho with 15, Morgan with 12. Engyo on the drive. Denied by Esho. Morgan to Scott. Scott could not make the shot, still struggling here in the first half. Engyo on the move, one-on-one against Morgan. It does not work.
Good job getting back on defense there by Moses Morgan.
Viet Arnold being pressured by Keith Jensen. Ball out of bounds. It will stay with the Heat.
Febri Otomo checking into the game in favor of B-Boy Engyo.
Another local here for the CLS Knights.
And Coach Coco Nugroho really using up his bench. Fielded in 12 players already.
Morgan. Arnold fakes the pass, shoots the 3. Still nothing for Arnold here. Oh, what a save there. Coming from a Lengok 2 as Brian Williams checks back in for Nugroho.
And those are quality minutes there for Febri or for Nugroho.
Yeah.
As he has played about 5 minutes. Has spelled Brian Williams for 5 minutes. So that's 5 minutes of valuable rest time for the big guy.
Offensive foul here called on the CLS Knights away from the ball.
And I'd like to see CLS Knights try to post up Brian Williams, force Maxi Esho to play D and force the defense to double him.
36-33, almost halfway done here in the second. Lengok 2 to Mikey Williams. One-on-one against the taller Keith Jensen now. He goes to Morgan. Morgan puts it on the floor. He drives, and he gets denied by Brian Williams.
Great anticipation there by Williams.
Almost a travel there for Utomo. CLS will slow it down. Jensen Attacking Arnold, kicks it out. Utomo. Crossover, back outside to Jensen. 7 seconds to shoot for the Knights. Jensen fires away, knocks it down.
That's a nice pull up there by Jensen, lulling David Arnold to sleep.
So again, it's down to a 1-point lead here for the Saigon Heat. That is the first basket here for Keith Jensen. Mikey goes to Esho. Arnold, drop off inside. Morgan sees Esho in the lane, using the Euro step there to get his way to the hoop.
Showing us the beautiful footwork there was Maxi Esho, up to 17 points right now.
Saigon Heat still clinging on this 3-point lead. Utomo almost losing the ball. He recovers. He sends it out. Gimilang knocks down the 3-pointer.
That was a big save there on that play. Broken play already. Salvaged by that 3-pointer from Gamilang.
5 points now for Gamilang. I remember him having a 14-point night in their opening matchup against the Formosa Dreamers. Esho from the corner. Maxi Esho, 20 points in the first half.
Wow, talk about getting himself in a rhythm. Maxi Esho attacking from all points on the floor.
That is the first 3-point bomb this afternoon for Maxi Esho. Gamilang did not get it in over Esho. Morgan again, left wide open, decides to take it in. Morgan takes it strong and gets the hoop.
I love the aggressiveness there of Moses Morgan, not settling for the outside shot, taking it strong, showing us that he's 100% healthy.
And he was also looking for the foul, talking to our referee right after. 10 seconds to shoot for CLS. Utomo kicks it out. Williams, the mismatch here. Utomo, 3 seconds. Hidayat forced to fire. A shot clock violation. Probably the third one here in the second period for the CLS Knights.
And that time, Brian Williams again playing from the outside, not trying to get post position. Chance here for the Saigon Heat to go up by 7 points, make it a 3-possession game.
Yep. 7 points is actually their biggest lead in the game. That was early in the first quarter. Scott,
now switches to a man-to-man.
Esho. Oh, a steal there by Jensen. Talked about his defense earlier, and Hidayat with a finish.
Good job there by Hidayat, using the rim to protect that layup against Maxi Esho.
3-point game. Williams fires away from straight away. Williams. Oh, all the way. Brian Williams looking like a point guard there.
The handles there on Brian Williams despite the traffic. Team Scott trying to go for the swipe.
Maxi Esho now. Does not connect from the top of the key. Williams cannot get a handle off the basketball there. Out of bounds. Possession will go back to the Saigon Heat.
That's 4 straight points there for the CLS Knights. They've trimmed the deficit, so instead of it becoming a 7-point lead, it's down to 1.
But again, could not capitalize of that possession. That could have gotten them over the hump against Saigon Heat. 1.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Viet Arnold against Kurniawan. Mikey Williams back to Morgan outside. Morgan misses the 3. Scott with a strong offensive rebound, and the putback is there.
And Akeem Scott averages about 7 rebounds per game, one of the best rebounding guards here in the ABL.
Oh, foul here on the floor against Viet Arnold.
And that's going to be a block on Viet Arnold, as he did not give Brian Williams any space to move as he tried to draw that charge.
Timeout here called by the CLS Knights. They are down by 3 with under a minute remaining here in the first half. We'll be right back after this. Going back to our coverage here, Brian Williams with a double-double here in the first half, 11 points, and shooting it very efficiently this afternoon. Brian Williams, 11 points again, going 5 out of 7 from the field.
And he's been really effective inside the paint. Every time the CLS Knights have been able to get the ball to Brian Williams inside, it has paid dividends for them. 5 out of 7 from the field. They've got 24 points in the paint compared to 22 from the Saigon Heat.
3-point game, under a minute remaining. Rutomo looking at the clock, backing down on Scott. Rutomo kicks it out. Pass too high for Jensen to catch.
Miscommunication there as Utomo telling Jensen, you have to relocate to the corner once he attacks the baseline. That is really the release pass.
That is turnover number 9 for CLS. Scott on the move. Scott all the way to the hoop.
Looks like he got away with a traveling violation right there, but the referee's going to allow that. Another bucket here for Akeem Scott.
And Scott clearly looking for his points now. Utomo to Kurnawan. Does not make the 3. Maxi Esho now on the move. Esho to Lengo 2. Back to Esho from the corner. Maxi Esho knocks it down.
And Maxi Esho is unconscious here in the first half.
Second 3-point bomb for Maxi Esho, and Jensen could not make the heave. And at the break, the Saigon Heat with a 5-0 run to end the first half and to extend their lead to 8 points. Our score right now, 50-42, again in favor of the home squad, the Saigon Heat. When we return, we're going to give you highlights of the first half as well as halftime stats and analysis. You guys are watching season number 8 of your ASEAN Basketball League.
Vâng, lần đầu tiên ông 30 mặc đồ vest ấn tượng vào một đề to nữa cho Sài Gòn hết trơn mà ông.
Going back inside the CIS Arena for your live and exclusive coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League at the half. Saigon Heat with the 8-point lead, 50-42. And here are your halftime stats for this game.
Saigon Heat doing a better job sharing the basketball, 10 assists compared to 4 to the CLS Knights. But rebounding-wise, the Knights have the upper hand, 16-11. Field goal percentage in favor of the Saigon Heat, 52-48. Turnovers, 9 turnovers already for the CLS Knights, which have resulted in 13 points off turnovers compared to just 4 points off turnovers for the CLS Knights. Rebounding-wise, as we mentioned, 23-15 in favor of the CLS Knights, and this has resulted in a 10-4 advantage in terms of second chance points. Bench points, though, what is not shown in your graphics, in favor clearly of the CLS Knights, as they have a 20-0 bench points advantage. But the Saigon Heat are not really known for getting points off the bench. Actually, this is the third game where their bench has contributed 0 points for them so far.
That's right. And of course, the Saigon Heat again ending the second quarter on a 7-0 run to grab the 8-point lead. The CLS Knights were able to trim it down to 1 point, 43-42. After that, it's been all Saigon Heat scoring 7 straight points. These are the highlights of your first half. Leading scorers now for both teams. For the Saigon Heat, the waxing hot Maxi Esho, 23 points in the first half, an efficient 10 out of 15 clip, 7 rebounds as well. The connection was also present for the CLS Knights, the connection of Brian Williams and Shane Edwards. Williams had 11 points and 10 rebounds in the first half. Edwards had 6 points and 1 rebound. Mikey Williams also getting into the act for the Saigon Heat with 7 points. And Hakeem Scott, he was looking for his points towards the end of that second quarter, and he did get 4 straight points for the Saigon Heat for a total of 6 for Hakeem Scott, the native of Harlem, New York. And if you're the CLS Knights, you were in a good position early on in this game. You just gave up, that 7-0 run that extended the lead, Marco, to the biggest lead of the game right now at 8 points.
Well, we go back to the keys of the game that we talked about at the start of the ball game. For the CLS Knights, it's going to have to be pound the ball inside the paint. They were effective doing that early on. 11 points for Brian Williams. They lead in terms of points in the paint, 24. Well, actually, the CLS Knights, because of their fast breaks, have been able to tie it 24-24 in terms of points in the paint. Number 2, dominate the glass. So far, the CLS Knights have been able to dominate the glass 23-15. And we'll talk about later the other keys to the game as we get back at the start of the third.
And we are moments away from the start of the second half. Again, this is the game between the Saigon Heat and the CLS Knights in your ASEAN Basketball League season number 8. When we return, we're going to give you third quarter action of this game. We'll be right back after this inside CIS Arena. We're back inside CIS Arena and resuming our coverage here of the ASEAN Basketball League. Saigon Heat with the first possession here. They're up by 8 points to begin our second half, 50-42. Maxi Esho, the hot guy for the Saigon Heat.
Basket is not going to count though, as the referee signaled that the foul was prior to his attempt. Ball was still put on the floor. So it's going to be a sideline inbounds here for the Saigon Heat with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
So Arif Hidayat getting a start here for Coach Coco Nugroho in the second half. On the other side, Coach Cal Julius sticking to his starting five. Viet Arnold fakes the shot. Back to Mikey Williams now. Knocks it down from three-point area.
That's a nice connection there between David Arnold and Mikey Williams. We talked about how their outside shooting is going to be key for them as well. Right now, shooting 8 out of 19 from long distance. Better than 35% are the Saigon Heat.
Again, they live and die with those three-point shots, making the most three-pointers so far in the league with 165 in the season. Not counting this game, of course. Cornyawan sends it out. Brian Williams knocks it down from three.
That's a big shot there for Brian Williams, but if I'm the Saigon Heat, I'm living with that outside shot from Brian Williams.
So that is a good quick answer for the CLS Knights as they trim the lead back down to 8 points. Williams with 14 points. Moses Morgan puts it on the floor, gets to the lane, doesn't make the shot. Scott on the offensive rebound and on the follow as well.
And Hakeem Scott just too strong inside against Arif Hidayat. It's a small backcourt here for the CLS Knights. Both Hidayat and Mario Wustang standing probably at about 5'8" or 5'9".
And Hakeem Scott has slowly picked up on his scoring here. 8 points now for Scott. Wustang has been quiet for the CLS Knights. Makes his presence felt with that driving layup.
I don't think Mario Wustang saw any action in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So try to make up for lost time here is Wustang.
He made that lone three-pointer in the first quarter. And Maxi Esho, the running drive works against Brian Williams.
And again, season high for Maxi Esho, if I'm not mistaken, is about 35 points. Right now he is up to 25.
Wustang could not make the shot. Shane Edwards on the second try.
Edwards trying to start to flex his muscle inside. Has the height advantage against Moses Morgan. And with Maxi Esho defending Brian Williams from the outside, it was an easy putback for Edwards.
Edwards was shelled to 6 points in the first half as Mikey Williams. How about this guy for the Saigon Heat? Has come out to play here in CIS Arena now with 12 points.
And many times he has been the barometer of the Saigon Heat team.
Bounce of defense here in Saigon as Wustang misses the three-pointer there.
And yet if you're Brian Williams, you have to stay aggressive. You cannot allow yourself to settle for outside shots.
Moses Morgan, 4 three-pointers in the first half. Oh, but Scott, 2 offensive rebounds here. Gets denied twice as well.
And nobody boxing out Hakeem Scott, but just not able to convert. But somebody's got to box him out from the outside. You know how Scott loves to crash those boards. Already with 4 rebounds today.
Shane Edwards now surveying the floor, looking for a teammate. They find Brian Williams against Maxi Esho down low. And Wustang flips up the shot, gets fouled by Hakeem Scott. And that's only the first personal foul of Hakeem Scott.
You see the difference with Brian Williams playing within or close to the post. That forces the defense to react rather than just allow him to shoot from the outside. Allows Mario Wustang to cut from the top of the key and then draw the foul against Hakeem Scott.
Mario Wustang to the line. 5 points. Again, he did not see action in the second quarter. Has played under 10 minutes now for the CLS Knights. Averaging about 20 or 12 points per game for the former ASEAN Basketball League champion. Knocks down 2 free throws there. Scott on the move, doesn't make the shot though, but a foul called on the CLS Knights.
Team Scott crosses that half line in less than 3 seconds off the inbound. There's not much you can do against a rampaging Akeem Scott.
That's his only gear, Marco.
Full throttle.
Full throttle, yes. Akeem Scott, of course, has taken the ABL by storm in season number 8, averaging about or close to 27 points per game and serving as the leader of this Saigon Heat team. One out of 2 on that trip, so Akeem Scott now with 9 points.
Full court man here for the guys in white.
Hidayat hounded by Scott, almost turned the ball over. Sung with a recovery. Go to the post. Shane Edwards fishes the foul from behind.
And that is going to be the second personal foul on Mikey Williams. Good recognition there by Mario Wuisang. Saw the switch. Found Shane Edwards against a smaller defender.
60-51. CLS has scored 9 points here in the second half. Hidayat. Difficult shot against the taller Viet Arnold. It's been all Brian Williams here for the CLS Knights. They're the only guy in double-digit scoring here. 14 points. Gamilang loses the basketball. We're back inside the CIS Arena, continuing our coverage here of the ASEAN Basketball League. Saigon Heat up by 10 points right now, 63-53 over the visiting CLS Knights. Dangerous situation here for CLS Marco. They also lost the third quarter against Mono Vampire in their previous game. That pretty much dictated the outcome of that game. As Esho drives and goes for the reverse. 30 points now for this guy, Maxi Esho.
And right now it's a 15-11 third quarter in favor of the Saigon Heat. I believe this is the biggest lead of the game for the Heat, and the CLS Knights really have to recover.
Leash draws air on that shot. Jensen will try and connects.
Trying to stop the bleeding is Keith Jensen, but they're going to have to do a better job executing. And they're going to have to play great defense against Maxi Esho.
Here's Esho speaking off. Pulls up from the free throw line. That is short. And Freddy Leash snatching that rebound. It's Leash against Scott now. And Scott getting a little bit too aggressive there against Freddy Leash. Called for the foul.
Smart move there by Freddy Leash, drawing the contact against Akeem Scott. That's going to be his second or third personal.
Oh, big development here for the Saigon Heat as a Lengok 2 checks in for Viet Arnold, and that's a clear foul, yes.
That's a veteran move there by Freddy Leash, selling the call as well. But Coach Kyle Julius is going to keep him in the game. So Lengok 2 coming in favor of David Arnold.
Leash off the glass and in.
And Freddy Leash, that is a matchup he can take advantage of quickness-wise.
65-58. So CLS with a counter-attack here in the third. Let's see how Saigon will answer. Scott on the drive. What a move by Akeem Scott.
Getting some piece of retribution here against Freddy Leash. Coach Kyle Julius still asking for that foul on that Akeem Scott drive.
11 points now for Mr. Scott. Brian Williams backing down off the glass and in. Brian Williams now with 16 points for CLS.
And not only has he been so effective inside the paint, he's also making Maxi Esho work defensively, so that might take away some of his energy from the offensive end.
It has been the Akeem Scott show here in the third for the Saigon Heat.
That's just too easy of a layup there by Akeem Scott. You cannot afford to trade baskets here with the Saigon Heat.
Gotta be careful here if you're CLS. Getting Scott in his rhythm. Esho on the rebound, Esho on the move, 4-on-1 break. And Moses Morgan all the way there gives the Heat the 11-point lead. Timeout here by the CLS Knights. And you're seeing Basketball League. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Akeem Scott has, or did not attempt that much or that many in our first half. Now is up to 13 points and 5 rebounds. Highlight on that 5 rebounds by Akeem Scott, who has been aggressive for the Saigon Heat. Jensen goes to Freddie. Leash on the crossover, the step back jumper. Leash misses the shot, and Esho gets the board.
Freddie's trying to go for the steal there.
Morgan knocks it down.
Another 5-point swing there after that Freddie Leash miss. That's back-to-back misses after a step back, resulting in baskets on the other end for the Saigon Heat.
Biggest lead of Saigon at 14. 5th three-pointer for Moses Morgan. And that is a clear foul. A reach-in against Maxi Esho.
And the CLS Knights have to do a better job here sharing the basketball, setting up their teammates, as the Saigon Heat have really outdone them in terms of assists. That's 13 to 5 on in the assist department in favor of the Saigon Heat.
And for the CLS Knights, Marco, they haven't played to their strengths. They rarely went inside the paint in this third period. Or went inside to Brian Williams, to Shane Edwards. They've been playing the Saigon Heat from the perimeter, at least for the most part here in the third.
And the problem with not getting your teammates involved, especially, or not getting them touches on the offensive end, is it does not encourage them to get back down and play better defense on the other end. So that's one of the reasons why the Saigon Heat have really controlled this third quarter.
Morgan, another three-pointer! Number 6 for Mr. Morgan.
To the body language of Shane Edwards as well. Was not able to defend that three-point shot as he got caught with a ball screen. And
what a comeback game for Moses Morgan, but that's a foul on Keith Jensen.
And that's going to be an unsportsmanlike foul on Keith Jensen as he grabbed Saigon Heat player. I believe that was Moses Morgan. So further compounding the woes. Oh, sorry, that was on Maxi Esho. Unsportsmanlike on Keith Jensen. So further compounding the woes of the CLS Knights.
So 2 shots here, and the possession for the Saigon Heat. As Maxi Esho continues to add to his point total here, 31 points for the UMass alumnus. Make that 32, and they will have ball possession here. They take the 19-point advantage over the CLS Knights.
And our titan of stats,
The Titan.
TK, just telling us the season high of Maxi Esho is 38 points versus Mono Vampire. He is approaching that right now. Moses Morgan.
Right on to Marcos.
Season high is 7 3-pointers made.
So Morgan and Esho is on pace to pass both statistics as Freddie Leash attacks the paint.
Another terrific shot there by Freddie Leash, but they've got to make a stop on this end of the floor.
Morgan, again, this time going to the driving layup.
And you see the value of Moses Morgan. Once he is clicking, just makes life a lot easier for the rest of the Saigon Heat.
24 points for Moses Morgan. Edwards just forcing his way inside there.
And that's something he really has to do, especially going into the fourth quarter.
6 seconds remaining here in the third. Heat on top by 19. Mikey with a step back J. Mikey Williams knocks it down!
And what an end to that third quarter, where the Saigon Heat outscore the CLS Knights 33-20.
When it rains, it clearly pours. The Saigon Heat on top by 20 big points here. 84-64 over the CLS Knights after 3 quarters of play. And in control going into the fourth quarter. You guys are still watching the ASEAN Basketball League, season number 8. Welcome back to the CIS Arena here in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. Again, this is the game between the Saigon Heat and the CLS Knights. Saigon breaking away in the third quarter, grabbing the 20-point lead, 84-64, and it's all because of this guy, Maxi Esho. 32 points, set the tone for the Saigon Heat in this game.
So that was actually a 34-22 third quarter, and the CLS Knights are going to have to play the quarter of their lives if they want to stave off elimination here in the 2017-2018 season of the ASEAN Basketball League.
Same story here as that game against Mono Vampire. They were outscored 30-20 in the third. Mikey sees the cutting Viet Arnold inside.
Mikey Williams just dancing with that basketball. Assist number 14 for the Saigon Heat.
First basket of the game for Viet Arnold. Mikey Williams, the cross-court pass. Morgan, he is still waxing on. Moses Morgan.
And that ties Moses Morgan's season high in terms of three-pointers made, or actually career high with 7 3-point baskets in this game.
Make that 27 points now for Moses Morgan as CLS calls for time. (89-64), Saigon with 5 quick points to begin our fourth and deciding quarter. Moses Morgan, you see his performance right now, 27 points, 7 3-pointers in this contest.
He's tied his career high for 3-pointers made, and the Saigon Heat are 8 points away from their season average of 97 points per game.
And Bibo Yengyo scores on the drive there. Second basket here, or make that third field goal made for Bibo Yengyo.
With this type of a lead, Coach Kyle Julius with the luxury of resting Akeem Scott.
Maxi Esho missing from the corner. Stefan Nguyen tracks the ball down, and we'll go back to Mikey Williams on top.
Coach Coco Nugroho looks to be trying something different here, as both Shane Edwards and Brian Williams not on the floor, but Mikey Williams connecting once again.
Salt to the wound here. Beating the buzzer there. And they get the miss from CLS.
And that is a 14th 3-pointer of the game for the Saigon Heat.
Utomo almost got the steal rather. Mikey Williams missing from the corner. And it's going to be CLS basketball with 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the game.
And you have 4 players in double figures for the Saigon Heat. 27 for Morgan, 13 for Akeem Scott, 15 for Michael Williams, and 32 big points for Maxi Esho.
Just an onslaught by the Saigon Heat here. Utomo. They feed it to Engyo. The step back. Engyo hounded now by Akeem Scott. 5 seconds to shoot. Engyo on the spin. The shot and the hoop for B-Boy Engyo.
Tough move there from B-Boy Engyo against a great defense from Akeem Scott.
Morgan continues.
And that is his career high. 8 3-pointers in the game, and what a way for Moses Morgan to come back.
Yeah. And Moses Morgan was sidelined for a couple of games with that hyperextended knee. And he's only been recovered for only 2 weeks. Supposed to rest for 3 or 4 weeks.
And this is the first home game of the Saigon Heat in a little more than a month.
Yes.
And you can be sure it's such a welcome homecoming for them. Moses Morgan has already tied his career high with 30 points in the game, according to our Titan of Stats, TK.
That almost went down for Moses Morgan. Jensen missing on the lay-in. Moses now starting to break. Scott, he only sees a straight line to the basket. Akeem Scott gets fouled on the drive.
What a strong drive there from Akeem Scott, taking on Nugroho. And it was Nugroho who actually fell to the floor after that contact.
This is only the second trip to the free throw line by Akeem Scott. He went 1 out of 2 in his first. And now 2 out of 3. 14 points. Did not need to score that many today because of the production from Maxi Esho and Moses Morgan.
And Michael Williams.
And Michael Williams, yes. B-Boy 2-on-2. B-Boy attacking Scott. Does not make the first. Does not make the second try as well. Stefan Nguyen sends it out, and they will slow it down here. 16 seconds to work with for the Saigon Heat. Up by 26 big points. I think that was a shot to the face.
That's going to go against Horace Nguyen. And it looks like Coach Coco Nugroho has thrown in the white flag, or has raised the white flag, as Brian Williams and Shane Edwards remain on the bench, while Coach Kyle Julius is still going to send Maxi Esho back in the game. And I wonder if he considers subbing out Moses Morgan, who has just come back from injury.
Right now he stays on the floor.
Especially with the game pretty much already decided here.
Jensen scores for CLS, so it's 96-72. 5.5 minutes remaining here. Horace Nguyen getting extended action off the bench. Scott. Morgan puts it on the floor. He fakes, he fires, too strong.
Still cannot exceed his career high of 30 points.
Moses Morgan has been efficient though on the floor, 11 out of 21 from the field. Utomo takes the handoff there. Utomo, strong move, but a very difficult shot. Stefan Nguyen, give him the basket and the foul.
Taking matters into his own hands, had a wide open Moses Morgan on the wing.
What a move there by Stefan Nguyen, just fending off B-Boy Engyo.
And I like this move by Coach Kyle Julius, subbing out Mikey Williams and Moses Morgan. What an amazing performance for them, and preventing any risk of injury or re-injuring himself for Moses Morgan.
So Moses Morgan, that is it for him. He finishes with 30 points, 11 out of 21 from the field, and a career high 8 3-point makes in this game. Engyo continues to work for CLS. Stefan goes to the corner, they swing it. He moves closer, in and out.
Now let's see if the CLS Knights can try to trim this deficit to make it more respectable.
Jensen. And again, great anticipation from Akeem Scott to strip that ball away from Keith Jensen.
That's going to be turnover number 12 here for the CLS Knights, as Shane Edwards makes his way back into the game with 4:15 remaining, and his team down by 26 points. So Coach Coco Nugroho sending some reinforcements here.
They swing the ball around again. Stefan. Back to Stefan at the corner. Nguyen, the hop step. A difficult left, does not go. Oh, what a pass by Akeem Scott to Esho, and Esho converts.
And you credit half that basket to Akeem Scott, who came flying out of nowhere to get that offensive rebound and the save to Maxi Esho.
Look at that save. Making the pass while falling down, and Maxi Esho does not disappoint. Converts on the shot, and he is up to 34 points now.
You know, Akeem Scott has really done so much to shape the personality of this team, this Saigon Heat team. It's been all grit. And he gets a well-deserved round of ovation as he heads to the bench.
He's going to be replaced by Nguyen Hai. 101-72, a commanding 29-point advantage here for the Saigon Heat. Shane Edwards from straightaway, nothing there. And Gamilang gets the foul on the putback.
And this is going to be an extended garbage time here for both squads. We talk about the schedule remaining. Of course, with this impending loss, the CLS Knights are officially going to be out of the playoff race, as they are going to garner 13 losses, with the Saigon Heat going up to 8 wins. So with a 3-13 record, even if they win the remaining 4 games,
yes,
it will not be enough to catch up to the current number 6 spot, which belongs to the Saigon Heat. To the Saigon Heat, meanwhile, after today, they are still going to be playing the Westports Malaysia Dragons, followed by the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and another matchup against the Westports Malaysia Dragons, and finally close out the regular season with the Singapore Slingers.
So still a tough schedule here for the Saigon Heat. Asto scores the basket there.
And for the Saigon Heat, they're going to want to try to improve their record. Still try to get to number 5 or even the number 4 spot.
And they will be facing a very hungry Westports Malaysia Dragons team. The only team now that has the chance to catch up to them for that number 6 spot. Oh, what a spin. A spin cycle there. And the hoop for Stefan Nguyen. Foul on the floor. It will be against Maxi Esho.
We talked about the Westports Malaysia Dragons right now at 4-10. They still have a shot to get into the playoff race with 6 games remaining on their schedule. Of course, they're going to be playing against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas tomorrow. That's going to be a crucial matchup for them as well, especially with their new imports in Ryan Davis and Chris Eversley.
But they will be at home as well.
And they're going to be playing the hottest team in the ABL so far, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, with an 8-game winning streak.
And a team from the Philippines also moved to second place when Chongsun Kung Fu lost against Mono Vampire. Gamilang back outside. Utomo fires straight away 3. Does not connect. Stefan Nguyen with a rebound. Stefan on the move. Stefan goes to the corner. Kwang Trung connects from the outside.
Back-to-back baskets there by Trung Tu. That gets the crowd going.
Gamilang could not make the shot. Here is Horst Nguyen now. Gives it off. Again to the corner.
And this is an all-local 5 for the Saigon Heat.
2 minutes remaining in the contest. Lingok 2 could not connect. And this local lineup coming from different VBA teams here in Vietnam.
You know, it's a pity. I thought that Shane Edwards came to the game way too late, as the game had already been decided.
Yeah.
Coach Coco Nugroho opting to rest him and Brian Williams pretty much the important stretch of this 4th quarter. Remember, they were down by 20 points heading into the 4th.
A sorry effort here. Had a great start to this game, talking about the CLS Knights. They were only down by 8 points at the half. But again, that halftime adjustment made by Coach Cal Julius made pretty much the entire difference of this contest, as we see Horst Nguyen go all the way there.
Almost everybody getting into the scoring picture right now. And the Saigon Heat have outscored The CLS Knights 26-13 here in the fourth quarter.
Put back by Shane Edwards is good, and he remains on the floor. 1:10 remaining. The Saigon Heat are on pace to get their 8th victory of the season. Hidayat on the move. Hidayat with the left hand finish.
That's a nice lefty finish there from Hidayat over the outstretched hands of the defender.
Left-handed finish there by Arif Hidayat. And they get the steal back-to-back for the CLS Knights. As we have under a minute remaining here in the game, Shane Edwards.
Adding to his total of 18 points right now.
And the locals continue to contribute here for the Saigon Heat. Stefan Nguyen getting into the act as well.
This is going to be an emphatic win here for the Saigon Heat after a tough loss against the Singapore Slingers. So the roller coaster of a season continues. Hopefully this will propel them to a more consistent finish here in the regular season of the ASEAN Basketball League. They're going to go up to 8-8, even 500 with 4 games remaining on their schedule.
And only a game behind the Singapore Slingers in our team standings here. So a chance for him or for them to even rise up to that 4th or 5th or 4th spot in season number 8 as time will expire at the CIS Arena. The home squad, the Saigon Heat, they get the W here at home, 114-86. An emphatic victory over the visiting CLS Knights. What a game for the home team. Leading the way for them was Maxi Esho. He was waxing hot the entire contest, scoring 35 points in total, nailing 3 3-pointers as well, alongside 10 boards, or 12 boards for him.
Maxi Esho and Moses Morgan, best players of the game right now for this one. 35 for Esho. He was 14 of 21 from the field. Moses Morgan tying a career high in terms of points and surpassing his previous career high in terms of 3-pointers made. 8 out of 14 from long distance, and these two guys really dictated the scoring, especially in the second half. Saigon Heat outscored the CLS Knights 64-44.
It was all Saigon Heat, like you mentioned, in the second half. And Moses Morgan, what a way for him to come back to the lineup of the Saigon Heat. Missed the last 2 games for them, one against the CLS Knights and their previous game, that big loss against the Singapore Slingers. But he came back here and scored 30 points, shot the lights out, 8 out of 14 from the 3-point area. He also had 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Again, 2 players scoring 30-plus points for the Saigon Heat on their way to this 28-point victory. On the other side, for the CLS Knights Indonesia, Brian Williams had a great start to this game. I think at the half he already had a double-double at the half, 14 points, 11 rebounds, but he finished the game with 16 points and 11 boards and only playing under 24 minutes today.
And I thought they moved away from their...
Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, ngày hôm nay chúng ta đã có một trận thắng vô cùng thuyết phục và tin chắc rằng những cổ động viên đang có mặt tại nhà thi đấu CLS đều cảm thấy vô cùng hài lòng với các cầu thủ Saigon Heat. Sau đây chúng ta sẽ có một số cuộc trao đổi ngắn với những người trong cuộc để xem cảm xúc của họ như thế nào sau một chiến thắng vô cùng thuyết phục ngày hôm nay. Đầu tiên xin mời quý vị và các bạn hãy cùng gặp gỡ với huấn luyện viên trưởng Kyle Julius. Hello, Mr. Kyle. First of all, congratulations to our victory today. Okay, and Mr. Kyle, after a long and hard away journey, so how do you feel about when you and your team come back to home?
It's so good to be back home, playing here in Vietnam, playing in front of the fans. It's so good. It was a really hard month. There was a lot of travel, tough away games, a few injuries and different things. And this crowd and the fans here are so special. So it's just great to be back, and I'm glad we played well. We had a good second half, but most importantly, just being home, you know, in our own beds, eating the food that we're used to, things like that. It makes a big difference.
The fourth game is the time you use on off your local players.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your local guys?
I love the local guys. You know, it's a process, getting them better, developing them, teaching them. But you know, they practice very well. They're very alert. They care, and they got a good opportunity today. So I feel really good about that.
Oh, wish you luck at your next game. Thank you. Thank you. Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, sau một chuyến hành trình rất là dài ở những trận sân khách vất vả, thì ngày hôm nay huấn luyện viên Kyle Julius cũng như các cầu thủ Saigon Heat đã cảm thấy vô cùng hạnh phúc khi được trở về sân nhà, và họ đã, với sự cổ vũ của các cổ động viên, thì họ đã có một chiến thắng rất là hoành tráng. Và đặc biệt là ông Julius rất là hài lòng về các cầu thủ nội, họ rất là tập luyện chăm chỉ và rất là có tinh thần học hỏi. Nói chung ngày hôm nay ông Kyle rất hài lòng về các cầu thủ cũng như là các cổ động viên tại CLS. Sau đây chúng ta sẽ cùng gặp gỡ với một cầu thủ cũng chơi rất nổi bật trong trận đấu ngày hôm nay, đó chính là Wes Morgan. Hello Morgan, how do you feel about your comeback after your injury?
I feel pretty good. I just want to make sure that I stayed in shape, make sure I did everything I was supposed to do to be ready, and we came out here and we got a win.
Okay, and you feel any message to your fans at your match today?
Thank you for the support. You guys, they always come out and show love, and they always come out and win or lose, they support us, and thank you.
Okay. Wish you luck at your next game. Thank you. Thưa quý vị, trở lại sau chấn thương thì Wes Morgan đã rất cố gắng, và với sự cổ vũ cũng như là giúp đỡ của các đồng đội và huấn luyện viên Kyle Julius, thì ngày hôm nay anh cùng với các cầu thủ của mình đã có một chiến thắng để dành tặng cho các cổ động viên. Và Wes Morgan cũng gửi lời cảm ơn rất là nhiều đến các cổ động viên tại CLS đã luôn ủng hộ anh và các đồng đội của mình. Cảm ơn quý vị và các bạn đã dành thời gian cho truyền hình FPT cũng như trận đấu của Saigon Heat. Chúng ta sẽ gặp lại nhau trong trận đấu tiếp theo vào cuối tuần này. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại.